Good morning. Today is Tuesday, September 23. It is 7:48 a.m. Central Time. A little late getting to the computer this morning, so we'll just be looking at things fresh. Be looking at it fresh together. So looking at what's happening on the news today. So we got some UN General Assembly, which maybe there's some keynotes potentially. Then we got the PMI Flash, 15 minutes after the regular open. So that'll be interesting. So maybe no trades until after that, to be honest. So we'll see what happens there. Um, some Trump speeches, some Fed speeches, and Powell speeches. Powell speaks midday as well. It's not saying that it's um, an important thing, but it's something to keep in mind there. You have a bunch of other stuff, and then going into tomorrow, some crude oil things, but nothing too crazy, it looks like. And then we'll have the next day we have jobless claims, so that is interesting. So maybe not too much volatility today, but we'll see how that goes. Did a quick check just on GPT, like what do we think for probabilities today? 50% probability. We kind of do a range day. A little bit higher on the bearish tilt with a lower close and breaking higher, less probability. So take that with a grain of salt. And then with the grok, based on X and everything you have there, neutral to mildly bullish. Um, so it's basically kind of the opposite of what GPT is saying. So take that with a grain of salt. And then we look at the Qs for dark pools that were transacted yesterday. It looks like we had about a billion at this 599 level, and then also about a little bit over half a billion at the 602, maybe close to a billion at the 602. So we went ahead and marked those. So we'll walk through that in a second. For yesterday's option flow on the Qs, if we just look at what things look like, it looks like it was bearish, all orders. And then if we look for things that are going to expire today, looks bearish there. Let's say anything over 100K looks more bullish. Interesting. 200K looks more bullish on today. So um, it's quite interesting there. And everything's above like 602, 601. So let's just see how that kind of plays out with the bigger money. For the dark pools itself, so we had a level here, kind of near the open of yesterday, and then also a level at the near the close. So that's interesting. So we transacted, went up, closed here. So did you sell or did you add more, right? And so we had this nice progression of dark pool levels. We didn't quite break new highs yet. So I will be watching how price behaves at this 24,994 level and just kind of see how we go there. For a quick look at the indexes, so Q's closed basically on the highs, and we're just kind of hanging out there pre-market. Same thing with the ES. Um, with the Russell, broke. Well, yesterday we closed, had a nice pullback, closed back green, and in pre-market we pierced a little bit higher. So there you go. For the Dow, had a pullback, closed on green. Pre-market we just eked out a little bit higher too. So it looks like Dow is kind of leading us up, which is interesting as it kind of pierced a new high. So that is something to keep in mind. We have VIX, which is kind of just hanging out here. Dollar kind of hanging out after that flush. We got treasury yields kind of, just kind of doing this little flag situation. Hasn't quite pushed up to kind of close that gap there, but we'll see how that works. And then we have XLK, super strong close. Pre-market just hanging out similar to the Qs. So But yeah, XOK looks super strong on the regular trading hours. So there you go. And then if we look at the mega cap tech stocks, Apple is amazingly breaking all the highs almost. So we'll see if we can kind of keep going. It's pretty amazing. Pre-market, we're holding up really well. Microsoft, nice little pullback, just kind of inside day yesterday. And so now we're holding up pretty well there. Amazon kind of broke all that support. So that's something to watch here. So if you're in the trend lines, we'll see if this trend line here holds. But it did close on the low. So that's interesting. Pre-market, we're kind of right above the close. So we'll see. Google looks like we're kind of took a little bit of a cool off day yesterday. Kind of broke the low of Friday, but Thursday's low held. Closed red on the day, but really in the middle of the candle, so not too bearish. And then pre-market, we're opening right in the middle of the candle, so not really too bearish, just kind of cooling off a little bit. Ooh, Meta. So nice kind of pull back. Broke one, two, three, four. Broke the low of the last 4 days. And let's see if this is a sweep of that Tuesday low before we push back up or if we continue lower. Pre-market, we looks like we're going to open above the close, but this seems like a good um, resistance becomes support type level. So we'll just see how that looks. But zooming out looks pretty bullish. Nvidia is super strong. Could not break new highs yet, but closed pretty strong. Pre-market is in that premium of this big candle. Looks like we are poised to kind of break above here. So let's just see if we can do it. Tesla piercing through. Um, yeah, we pierced through the high of Tuesday, June 21st. Pre-market's holding up pretty well, so really bullish there. And Q's looks like XLK on the highs there. So looks pretty bullish. There's a few stocks cooling off, but nothing really crazy. Um, I guess if we were looking for anybody to drag us down, looking to see how Amazon does and how Meta does. So we'll just see if we can break a little bit lower here to kind of cool us down a bit. But I mean, Nvidia and Apple and Google are pretty strong. Tesla. So Microsoft looks strong. So it's really just Amazon and Meta, which are questionable, but they're still bullish. They're just a little bit weaker on yesterday. So we'll just see how that kind of pans out. And yeah, so that looks like how things are looking for, I guess, pre-market really quick. We have and I need to figure out how to format these pre-market lines a little bit better, but we'll just mark this here, this low pre-market. We'll lock that. And this pre-market high here, this 25027, we'll lock that. So yeah, I mean, for me, I'm watching this kind of range that formed. See if we sweep this to go up higher, or push and sweep this and go lower, or if we just hang out here. Um, and if for some reason we don't break this higher low anytime soon during the morning session, it's really about how we do in relation to this dark pool level. If we kind of stay above it, like, are we going to drift up? If we break below, we can't. Are we going to drift in and kind of finally break? Um, finally break. I guess here could be an interesting target to the downside if you were into it, which is the 24938. Obvious kind of next level down. Or we just kind of go and make higher highs. Let's see. But yeah, I guess I'll be watching the pre-market high and low. This is a kind of a tight range that we've had so far. Even with there was the PMI Flash in England, I think. So we've been kind of stuck in this 50-point range. So that's interesting. So let's see how we do. Yeah, that is it for me. And good luck out there. Thank you.